Let's explore how to use energy work to treat addiction. This evening's lesson is drawn from a good-hearted question found on Reddit. Energy work to fight addiction? So of course I'm seeking professional help. However, I am a recovering drug addict. I want to know if there's any sort of I want to know if there's any sort of energy work to help fight addiction. Maybe some sort of way to heal the root of the problem. I don't know. I'm just wondering, because I experience intense cravings. Even though I've been sober since July 2023, just wanted to know if any of y'all know anything about this. Edit. I have $0 to my name. Anything that costs money is out of the question. Especially things that'll cost hundreds, like some of you guys are recommending, which can be really frustrating. So yes, let's begin with broad brushstrokes. I am glad that you're seeking professional help. So over here you mentioned the root of the problem. I've done a lot of work with people in 12-step programs, and one time I attended a meeting where a very famous 12-stepper who was a former flight surgeon for the Blue Angels talked about research he did that talked about the neurological seat of addiction, which is the dopamine reward system. There is more than one neurotype, and for those who are neurodivergent, especially for those who have ADHD, the brain is structured differently, and it is structured in a way that has difficulty producing and using and holding on to dopamine. And it's dopamine disorders that fuel addiction. So addiction is less psychological and more physiological. So let me scoot you over here real quick. I'm a big fan of the Sinclair method. You can watch a video on it. Just Google on YouTube "forgetting to want" or "what if you forget to want alcohol." There is an actual link for this video found in the description area below the video under the heading "freebies." There is a science fiction actress, or an actor who got her start or became famous because of Babylon 5. And she fell into addiction, and the Sinclair method helped her tremendously, and she's a great big proponent. The gentleman who put this video together did a very, very good job. It costs about $100 to do the Sinclair method. But if I had addiction problem, this is what I would use. Now, are there wonderful adjuncts? Yes, there are. The 12-step programs have typically about an 8% success rate. The Sinclair method has about an 83% success rate. It's not perfect, but it's much, much better. And it's much easier. It especially works if you have friends or family who can help you through it, because it's not a treatment center thing, unless someone's put one together that I just don't know of. There's a lot of money to be made in the 12-step program. This has nothing to do with that. And it's very, very heartbreaking that people choose profit over patient welfare. But Welcome to late stage capitalism. So now that we've gone over the nitty gritty of this, let's explore energy work. We can begin with 3 centers. So I'm going to use nomenclature that is germane to Tibetan Buddhism. So using the sex root center, which is basically the prostate or the G-spot, oriented sex center, psychic center, using the lower abdomen center, also known as the secret wheel or the wind wheel, and using the navel wheel. There are some who have correlated the sex root wheel with alcoholism, the secret wheel I can't spell alcoholism, so let's see what, there we go. The secret wheel with an addiction to marijuana. And the navel wheel to an addiction to amphetamines. So, once again, this is no substitute for working with an MD who is an expert in the Sinclair method. There's just no substitute for that. There's no substitute for working with a neuropsychologist who is an expert in addiction and ADHD. The correlation between the two is huge. And sadly, people squander decades of their life trying to treat addiction as if it was a psychological problem when it's really a psychological symptom of a physiological problem. When that physiological problem is dealt with, you can stop addiction within 7 days. Remember that song from, what's it called? Rocky Horror Picture Show? In 7 days, I Can Make You a Man. It's exactly what we're talking about here. So, if you are watching me right now and you are in the throes of addiction and you'd like help, cool. In just a few minutes, we'll begin our practice. I want you to lay down on a firm surface, not your bed, because you'll fall asleep, but lie down on a yoga mat on the floor. It's tougher to fall asleep there. On your back. And using your imagination, imagine that I'm placing the center of my palm, either my left palm or my right palm, on different parts of your body. You don't have to visualize it. It's just a question of intention. And so there you go. So if you aren't the receiver, but you would like to work on people, very, very simple. Use the techniques that we're going to use together in just a few minutes. But here's how the secret hand works. According to some systems, and there are many systems of energy work, but according to the simpler system, the left hand is different than the right hand. So the left hand is more for reducing congestion, and the right hand is more for reducing deficiency. So for instance, if you have a dear one in your life who has an amphetamine addiction, and you're imagining resting your palm on their navel or in the space between their rib cage and their navel, get feedback from them. They will have a different effect when you use your right hand than when you use your left hand. They will also have a different effect when you rest your hand upon the crown of their head. Resting your head upon the crown of the head is more like a Band-Aid. It can take the edge off when you just feel like you're drowning in impulses. But for a more long-term healing, you'll want to work with these three chakras right here. Having said that, Let's go back to this bit right here. Yes, if it's free, it's for me. I charge nothing. Every 12 hours or so, health permitting, I'm doing a live stream on YouTube. Anytime you want to interface with me and ask questions or get healing energy during a live stream, show up, be there, or be square. YouTube is really good about saving the majority of my live streams, so you can always come to a late one. But if you want real energy in real time, your best bet is to come to a live one. But don't worry, a saved one is better than nothing. So, yeah, although I accept donations, they're not mandatory at all. So there, and by the way, if you have to choose between sending me a buck or saving a buck so you can do the Sinclair method, do the Sinclair method. It's that important. So let's see. Any other questions? None. Fabulous. Well, let's get to it. So we're going to start after about 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I spent about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each sect of Buddhism so that you would not have to. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. So let's dig in. We're going to play with the latest iteration of Green Heroine's Easy Meditation. What an unfortunate choice of words. By the way, I'm sending out a big psychic hug to my pal Kevin and his cats, Rue and Teddy. Please chant with me. In our compassion may we long to free all be. So right off the bat, this is a great place to start with the old energy work. So I'm going to pretend I'm the healer. You can pretend and I'm going to pretend I'm sending you energy right now. Oh, she or he who asked the original question on Reddit. And I want you to imagine that my first step of business is just to take the edge off of the addictive drive, the addictive impulse. So I want you to imagine that I'm resting the center of my right palm upon the very top of your head. In our compassion may we long to free all beings from the toxic tyranny of ever. Hating, craving, and cleaning, metaphorically known as the three mental poisons. In our pragmatism may our liberation of all others be fueled by our reliance on the Buddha's example, instructions, and students, described by the metaphor of the three wish-fulfilling jewels. Now we're going to recite the 8-syllable essence of these 2 pages. May we free all through the 3 jewels. May we free all through the 3 jewels. Now, if you're trying to heal right now, here's a simple trick. With your right hand, relax your right palm and explore just a very subtle tension between your thumb and your little finger, and feel the tendons sort of play across your palm very, very gently. This is a wonderful way to awaken the psychic centers in your palms. Try to do this without thinking that you're Tony Stark. I double dog dare ya. May we free all through the 3 jewels. May we free all through the 3 jewels. And now it's time to rest. We're going to, while maintaining real or imaginary contact with the crown of the person's head we're working on, or if I'm working on you, you enthusiastically playing with the idea that I'm resting the center of my palm on your scalp. Let us bring whatever we spontaneously notice into the path of awareness and release. This is going to take the edge off of your addictive drives. The Buddha taught an eightfold path. The seventh fold is mindfulness. Every time we inhale, whether we know it or not, we are accessing our sympathetic nervous system ensconced within the center third of our spinal cord. This bad boy has evolved to perceive vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly. We can facilitate this by silently and mentally reciting the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation. Now, the eighth fold of the Buddha's eightfold path is meditation. Every time we exhale, whether we know it or not, we access our parasympathetic nervous system, which is ensconced within the lower and upper thirds of that same spinal cord. This bad boy has evolved to facilitate both physical relaxation as well as mental release. And it's very, very helpful if we silently, mentally, and passively recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation. So let's kick back and play with the healing vibes. So, Jay, I want you to imagine that you're lying on your back, and that the center of my palm is resting upon the crown of your head. And right now, if Kevin can actually do that for you, that would be fabulous. And now for a bit of the now for some more chanting. I'm sure it is. Please let me know if his lacerations have been sutured and if he's been given some antibiotics. We don't want that boy swelling with infection. Rather than controlling tendencies with the follies of active visualization, emotion, magic, and belief, we could just recite these kind words in harmony with our breathing and allow our subconscious to do the heavy lifting. Let us accept the rigidity that confuses metaphors for statements literal, and relax into the flexibility that savors the chance explaining metaphors as similes. So together let us view letting go through a philosophical lens as we bring the illusion of the horizontal duality of us and them into the dance of impermanence and interdependence known as Madhyamaka's Yoga of Inconceivability. So, to he or she who wrote the question on Reddit, I invite you to imagine me respectfully placing the center of my right palm upon your navel. How could visible circumstances or lots be as impermanent and interdependent as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this body or form? All these words coalesce into simply 6 syllables which divide between our inhalation and our exhalation. So we're going during our in-breath, we silently and mentally and passively recite these same 6 syllables. During our exhalation, we physically relax as best we can while striving to chant this 10-syllable mantra 4 times per breath. Om Tadedinadinurizuwa, Om Tadedinadinurizuwa, Om Tadedinadinurizuwa, Om Tadedinadinurizuwa. How could sensual bodies or forms be as impermanent and interdependent as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this communication or speech? Om Tadedinadinurizuwa, Om Tadedinadinurizuwa, Om Tadedinadinurizuwa, Om Tadedinadinurizuwa. How could resounding interpersonal communication or speech be as impermanent and interdependent as if it could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this awareness or mind? Tareru Nareru Suwa, Om Tareru Nareru Suwa, Om Tareru Nareru Suwa, Om Tareru Nareru Suwa. How could lucid minds be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into our vast empty void? Like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although tantalizing to the eye, could be not graspable to the hand. Om Tareru Nareru Suwa, Om Tareru Nareru Suwa, Om Tareru Nareru Suwa, Om Tareru Nareru Suwa. Again, let us rest in awareness and release. Please persist in imagining that the center of my palm is resting upon your navel. We now bring Lama Kyano's figurative practice of calling the teacher as from afar into Energy Work's path of bliss and letting go. Again, I invite, if you are receiving healing energy across the internet, I invite you to imagine me resting the center of my right palm upon the crown of your head. Let us invite real aroma. Oopsie, let's try this again. Let us invite real imagine Guru Amitabha to the crown of our head, that in the union of bliss and letting go we may train. Om Tare Dare Dare Suwa Om Tare Dare Dure Suwa Om Tare Dare Dure Suwa Om Tare Dare Dure Suwa. And again, let us rest the mind in awareness and release. Please persist in feeling the center of my palm resting upon the crown of your head. If you are receiving healing energy, that is. Let us bring the four bases of mindfulness into the conventional practice of love and release, where it is love that is emphasized. Please chant. Actually, one moment. May all clear minds of all beings know be as peacefully enlightened as the mind of a real or imagined Buddha symbolized by a tikle one syllable seed or bija mantra. So we're taking all these words and we're condensing them into just 6 syllables, which we are going to divide between our inhalation and our exhalation. We're not trying to work magic. This is not an affirmation. We're not trying to believe. We're not trying to visualize. All we're doing is silently, mentally, and passively playing with words in harmony with our breathing for the sole purpose of exercising our loving intention. Oopsie. Now, during our inhalation, we're going to silently, mentally, and passively recite all 6 syllables. During our exhalation, we're going to physically relax as best we can, while striving to chant this 10-syllable mantra 4 times per breath. And if this is your first time, please give yourself permission to have a learning curve. Om Tare Dare Dure Suwa Om Tare Dare Dure Suwa Om Tare Dare Dure Suwa Om Tare Dare Dure Suwa. May all relationships, all speech of all beings now be as joyfully loving as a real or imagined Buddha speech symbolized by a horizontal mala mantra. May all bodies or forms of all beings know and show the beautiful Hassin in Buddhist statuary, depicting the blissful body of a real or imagined Yadaman archetype of enlightenment, such as green Tara. So please imagine that I'm resting the center of my right palm upon your lower abdomen. Om Tadenu Nanenu Nisawa Om Tadenu Nanenu Nisawa Om Tadenu Nanenu Nisawa Om Tadenu Nanenu Nisawa. May all circumstances or lots of all beings know have the good fortune or boon, as a Buddha's real or imagined paradise, pure land or vati. Om Tadenu Nanenu Nisawa Om Tadenu Nanenu Nisawa Om Tadenu Nanenu Nisawa Om Tadenu Nanenu Nisawa. Again, let us rest in awareness and release. And if you're an addict receiving healing treatment right now, please imagine me continuing to rest this respectfully and platonically resting the center of my right palm upon your lower abdomen. So, if you are an addict and you are currently hoping to receive more healing energy from me, I want you to imagine that you're lying on your tummy now, and that I'm respectfully and platonically resting the center of my right palm upon the apex of your tuchus. That will allow me to send energy directly into what is considered in Buddhism to be your, well, not necessarily Buddhism, but the chakra that correlates with your G spot or prostate. For our final set of contemplations this evening, let us bring the four bases of mindfulness into the ultimate practice of love and release, where it is release that is emphasized. As we relax into our exhalation, how could appearing circumstances or lots that we perceive during our inhalation feel his non-graspable or void or Buddha's real or imagined paradise, pure land or vati of light. Om tare de da de do de so wa. Om tare de da de do de so wa. Om tare de da de do de so wa. Om tare de da de do de so wa. As we relax into our exhalation, how good our sensual bodies or forms that we perceive during our inhalation feel as non-graspable or void as an archetype of enlightenment or yidam of light. Om tare du na ne du re so wa. Om tare du na ne du re so wa. Om tare du na ne du re so wa. Om tare du na ne du re so wa. As we relax into our exhalation, how could all communication or speech that we perceive during our inhalation feel as non-graspable or void as a Buddha's real or imagined communication or mantra of light? Om tare de na ne nu re so wa. Om tare de na ne nu re so wa. Om tare de na ne nu re so wa. Om tare de na ne nu re so wa. As we relax into our exhalation, how good all perception, emotion, and tension cognition, recollection, or imagination that we notice during our inhalation feel as non-graspable or void as a Buddha's real or imagined settable or bija of light. Om tare de na de du re so wa. Om tare de na de du re so wa. Om tare de na de du re so wa. Om tare de na de du re so wa. Please continue to imagine. If you are an addict wishing energy work, please imagine that you're lying on your tummy and that I'm resting the center of my right palm respectfully and platonically and therapeutically upon the apex of your tachas. Let us seal this evening's practice by chanting love and letting go's wishes for universal enlightenment and well-being. May all minds of all beings lucid yet void no be as peacefully enlightened as a Buddha's mind symbolized by a Bija syllable. May all speech of all beings resounding and void no be as joyfully loving as a Buddha's speech symbolized by a multi-syllable mantra. May all forms of all beings and true and void no be as healthy as a yet unmarked are depicted in Buddha statuary. May all lots of all beings appearing in void no be as fortunate as a pure land of law represented in Buddhist paintings. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 10.5 hours, I would very much like to return to lead tomorrow's early meditation class and group practice. If you've just received energy work, please drink a tall glass of water. You've moved a lot of energy. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.